Well, hello everyone, welcome to TxivTsev channel. If you have not subscribed to TxivTsev channel, please subscribe for more great video. In this video, I'll be showing how to tie flies for white bass fishing in Wisconsin on the fast rivers in Wisconsin. I'm using a number 8 dry fly hooks. I'm just using some threads to wrap around the hook so that it's not slippery before I apply more stuff to it. Forming up the base of the body there, you can use any color that you want. Once you get the color ready and the height or the length that you want it, just kind of hang tight, and then we're gonna add in a tail to that fly. So you can use any color of channel or thread that you prefer, or if you like any color of hair or feathers that you like to use for tails. If you have fished for white bass before, you know that those bass, they strike hard and they bite and they fight hard. They'll be ripping your flies off in no time. So to make it strong, I use channel, and I will wrap that tail nice and hard on there so it does not come off no matter how hard that fish bite. I'm creating some body shiner or strips onto the body. You can use some flash, sparkles, whichever you feel comfortable using. Just wrapping that thing around the body of the flies all the way down to the tails, and then come right back all the way to the top, and then you'll wrap it up, tie it, and cut it off. Now what I usually like to do once I cut that off is that I like to apply some glue to it. And again, back to that fierce fighting that the white bass usually provide to you, they'll rip that strip off in no time. So I want to make sure I put some glue on it to hold that strip onto the body of the flies. And I'm cutting the threads off. What I want to do is I'm gonna let it hang tight, let it dry for about 3 to 5 minutes. The longer the better. If you have some set aside already, like what I have right there on the right side, you can pick those drier ones to continue the next phase, and by the time you circle all the way back to that one that you just made, it'll be dried already. So we're starting on the second phase. We're gonna start wrapping that thread again onto the hook to hold it on there, and then we're gonna start cutting some hair on and put it onto the flies. I'm using some purple buck tail here. You can use any color of bucktail that you like, or feathers if you like. You can choose whatever color or feathers. Or hairs, squirrels hair is perfectly fine. Rabbit hair is perfectly fine as well. I just found that bucktail give me a lot more room and flexibility, and they're a lot stronger to withstand that white bass bite. Cut about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, depending on the fish that you're looking for to catch. Typically here in Wisconsin, the white bass, I kind of notice that if I leave the tail or the hair too long, that they tend to bite only the hair and not the whole hook. So I cut it to about 1.5 inches. I'm tying the hair onto the flies to start forming the head. What I'm doing right now is I'm cutting some flash or sparkles to add to the side of that flies to add some shines in there. What will happen is when that fly start flying in the water, it'll from the sunlight, it'll add some sparkles, flashes like a bugs in the water, and it does help the fish strike it more often. Once I get that on both sides, I'll continue to form the head. You can form a small head if you prefer, or a bigger head. That's totally up to you. I found out that if the bigger the head I form, once it starts to get round up, the strings tends to not stay there, tend to slip off. Right now I'm tying on a brighter color of threads. I'm trying to finalize in forming that head with a brighter color of threads. I'm using a bright red string or yarn there, and I'm just going real, nice and easy around it to cover the whole head in that bright red color. And then I usually like to add in some glue to hold it so that the string does not come loose. Once I got that in place, I finalize it and tie it before I cut it off to prevent it from getting loose again. And then I usually like to spread the hair out a little bit. I like my flies to flare out before I finalize and add some more glue to the head. It does help the flies once in the water to spread out a little bit, so they look more natural, like a real bug with its feathers and wings spreading out. I'm adding more glues to the heads before I start applying the eyes to the head. That's totally optional. If you have some eyes that you want to glue on there, that's totally optional. In the past, I used to paint the eyes on there using jig head paint, black color and white color, but I found out it's a lot easier to just glue the eyes on it. You have to purchase the eye. And there are different type of eyes that you can purchase. Whichever one, try a few out, see whichever one works out for you. Different fly does require a different set of or type of eyes. Once you get both of them on both sides, then just align it to make sure that they are both perfectly fine on each side. You can have it straight in the middle of the head. That's totally up to you. A little to the front, a little high to the top, whichever you feel that it's going to be more appealing to a fish when they strike. And once I got it in position that I like, I usually add in some glue to help secure the eyes, so that once it dries, it turns rock hard, so that those white bass with their powerful strike, it doesn't knock that eye out. Well, that's about it. That's how I make my white bass fishing flies here in Wisconsin to fish on the fast rivers of Wisconsin. If you do not know how to make any and you want to order some, you can send me an email to djchannel@outlook.com. In the subject line, put white bass streamers and tell me how many you want. They are $5 each, and what type of colors you want. Also leave your name and phone number in that email so that I can contact you and we can talk about shipping and all of that stuff. Well, if you have not subscribed to ZJ channel, please subscribe to ZJ channel, and also share this video with your friends who loves fishing just like I do. And we'll see each other on the next video. Thank you very much.